this is something new that we're doing. We have never before sent a videographer out on a trip with an editor. Normally, you'll see Dave will come by and it's all pads. But just like your business, our business is changing.
It has to change, and if you don't change with the times, it's so critical. A business that looks like it did 5 years ago is a business that's failing right now. So one of our biggest challenges is to change with the times and accentuate the experience for the guests in our stores. It's a combination of evolving technologically, product and offering wise, and giving an experience that's beyond what the consumer expects when they come into a mattress store. So
what do you think are some of the biggest changes you've made in the last 5 years?
Well, e-commerce, obviously. Drew's done a great job with helping us redesign our product offering and reaching out to the younger consumer through digital advertising. I think that also the integration of Bed Match has been phenomenal for us as a real difference maker because it accentuates the experience for the consumer in our stores. I think the evolution of new merchandise has been exciting, new offerings, the rise of adjustable products, all of those things have changed the face of this business. And also hiring great people to join our family of wonderful people that makes us super strong. Being able to attract and keep phenomenal, fun, nice people you'd want to hang with.
Mm-hmm.
We don't hire people necessarily that have a lot of mattress experience. We hire great people that are good communicators and good listeners, and then we can teach them the skills within our industry. But if you're not a good human being, you don't belong at our table with our family. So being able to attract those people, a lot more younger associates, as a lot of our more mature associates are starting to retire now. I used to be the youngest guy in the business. Now I'm one of the older guys in the business.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
I used to be the youngest guy in the newsroom, and now
it's
I'm
kind of weird because I still feel young, mm-hmm. and my spirit I'm still young, but the body ain't so good anymore. I mean, it's still okay, but it's not what it used to be. It is an odd thing,
isn't it? I mean, psychologically, you still feel 20 or 25. If I throw me a basketball, I still think I'm gonna
Yeah, forget it.
No.
With this shoulder surgery and that shoulder and this,
Yeah.
But
retail is challenging in terms of, I hear so many people are challenged to bring young people in. They don't want to be in this business.
Yep.
And when they get there, they have different priorities than our generation did, right? The concept of paying your dues seems somewhat different. How do you adapt?
We've been very fortunate because we have a lot of people Drew's age, a little younger and a little older, that have come into the business and are contributing. What we do is we first of all, our associates are paid better than anywhere else, and probably maybe not in the country, but certainly on the West Coast. Our people are very highly compensated, but more than that, we treat them with dignity and respect. And we're pro-associate. We're not anti-associate. We try to do the best thing we can for our internal guests, our people we work with, and our external guests. Things are different. Look, when I started, it was 7 days a week, from 9 in the morning till 9 at night, weekdays, and from weekends were 9 to 6. That's what I had to do. It was myself, me and my dad in the store, and one other guy, and that was it. So. But because I've done all that, cleaned the toilets, and delivered, and serviced the customer, and I have an affinity for what our associates have to do. So, and so does Nelson. Nelson didn't start at the top. He started as a sales associate. So we understand it. It's changed, though, because back then folks didn't really want to take vacations. Now they want more vacation.
Right.
Well, we can accommodate them. You have to be able to accommodate, the new norm, and with associates, and with our guests in our stores.
Does it change the way you compensate people? Do younger people want to be compensated differently than
Well,
previous
because
generations?
it's pretty generous. It's pretty, it's pretty easy for an associate, first year associate, to make $80,000 to $90,000. I'd say that's about the norm. And people that are really proficient will make more than that. So it's not a compensation issue. It's more what Drew said, work-life balance. We just cut Sunday hours a little bit because we've noticed we have questionnaires. We have blind questionnaires that we send out to our associates to find out how they grade us. There's no repercussions. It's just straight information because we want to know what our people think. And they're much more likely to say what they think when it's a blind questionnaire.
Sure.
And that showed that we needed to work on that, and we did. We answered it right away. But we do have retail hours, which is difficult.
How do you manage those transitions? Because so many companies I talk to today, they recognize the need to be in digital, but they're so afraid of losing their current customer base, right? So you have to hold on here and reach there.
You have to be able to speak to your base, but you also have to attract new guests into your business. It's a long educational process. Digital is a wild west, and there's a lot of phony stuff out there and a lot of ripoffs. We wasted millions of dollars over the years with misdirect. And we started e-commerce probably 10 years ago, more. And we're on the cusp of doing the right thing, but we had the wrong partners. The programming was wrong. There was a lot of other things that were wrong, but we didn't know. I mean, we've had to go back to school. And Drew's helping teach, and my other nephews are in the business. Nelson's two sons are in the business. Jeremy is our key account exec with King Coil, very, very key supplier of ours. And Nate manages a store, and all those, the younger people are what's feeding this and helping. So look, I'm not a digital expert, but I know to listen and to hire and to have faith. But there's different parts of the funnel of consumers. You have to speak to the top of the funnel to get people familiar with your brand, and we've been doing it for we're 40 years old next year. But on radio, 35 years, and TV since 1992, speaking to the top of the funnel. But as it goes down to people that are more actively thinking about it, and then finally people that are shopping for it, you've got to be able to speak to them at all those points in the funnel. And you use different media mix to speak to them. Look, in some areas of the country, print still works. In LA, no way. In some areas of the country, direct mail works. In LA, not very good. And we've done all those things. It's in some areas of the country, radio works. But there's issues with that too because of new instruments. Cell phone streaming. Satellite radio. When I started advertising on radio, there was one talk station in America. I was on it. It's the right place at the right time. When Howard Stern started, I was on it. But today, there's so many choices across the bandwidth of streaming, podcast, all this other stuff that takes listeners' time and awareness away. Same way with TV. When we started on TV, there was probably 13 major stations in LA, 12 major stations. Now there's thousands. There's thousands of ways to get the information. There's connected TV where people have cut the cord and are getting their TV through various providers, and you can advertise that way. But you have to learn all that. A lot of trial and error.
Sounds like you're not afraid to make mistakes, though.
We made a lot of mistakes. My God, the road's littered with our mistakes, but we make more right decisions than wrong ones. If you make 2 right ones and 1 wrong one, that's okay. I mean, we're fortunate now that we're not as cash strapped as we were in the beginning. We started this business with $10,000. I borrowed $10,000 to start it from my aunt, and my dad borrowed, it's $20,000. My dad borrowed $10,000 to start it. It was hand to mouth for many years. We couldn't. There's retailers out there that are struggling right now. They got to have faith in themselves, keep their nose to the grindstone, and not be afraid to reach out and try new things. If they don't, they won't make it. Have to.
Yeah. Are you bullish on brick and mortar?
Absolutely. We're opening more stores. We're opening a big new store in Fontana next month. I think that it's probable that in the future some larger stores will shrink a little bit because of high cost of occupancy. And you have to be sensitive to that. And certainly there's new sales aids, electronic, scientific aids that will help retailers in the future. They've got to be willing to try that and embrace those changes that are available to them. I think artificial intelligence, will play a part in the consumer experience in the next 10 years. I think robotics will take place in our warehouse. We've got a phenomenal facility, but robotics will lift the mattresses and take them off pallets in the trucks and put them away. That's what's going to happen. I think stores like Casper will probably have to integrate into mainstream retailers and get space there, like Nectar's doing. We have Nectar on our floors. They drive some traffic to us, and it's been a good relationship.
Well, interestingly, Casper was at the Las Vegas market. I can only assume that the goal there was to get themselves placement on dealer floors.
I think they wanted more than that. They wanted to create a buzz. And I think they did that. They created a buzz. So people could get in. People wanted to get in. It's what you can't have. It's a great takeaway. In the negotiations, it's a great, sometimes, we're going to take that off the table. Well, I really wanted that. Maybe they didn't. So, we'd be happy to talk to them. We'd be happy. They're a fine brand, good product. So they have a place in retail, I'm sure. Very good advertising. That will drive consumers into our store, and we're not afraid to sell the product. That when vendors help bring traffic in, we're going to sell that product because that's what consumers want. Look at Tempur-Pedic. Unbelievable. I remember I was joking with a rep, I don't know, 15 years ago maybe, and we were predicting when the last memory foam mattress was going to roll out to a store, when it was going to be gone. Boy, were we wrong. So.
I can certainly relate to that. I have missed on many winners over the years, and
we had them, and we've always welcomed them. They're a great supplier and great friends of our business, but we kind of thought that it was a short-lived deal. We were very wrong. So what's happened is Tempur-Pedic has striven to improve their product. Product is flying off our floors now. So.
They really seem to have adapted as well as anyone, if not better than most of the traditional mattress brands, to the changing environment.
Very good upper management, sharp people, great marketers, and they're credit to our industry. If SSB had done the same thing, they'd be in that position. Unfortunately, they're not. So,
well, they seem to be reacting. They came out with a new line unusually in a summer market.
They had to.
Well, healthy brands are good for the business.
Well, they've been phenomenal. Simmons and Serta are our two biggest vendors. Simmons is still a very significant vendor. Serta's reinventing themselves, so I wish them the best. They helped me. Simmons helped us, not the current people, but they helped us launch our radio program. They encouraged me to go on the air. I didn't want to do it. I was scared to death. I stunk at the beginning, but they actually funded our first, some of our first radio campaigns and our first TV spots, above and beyond. That I'll never forget. I'll never forget their kindness and support.
How does it feel being the face of the business?
How does it feel to be what?
The face of the business.
Oh, it's great. And sometimes it's a pain in the ass. So if I'm out somewhere, I'm like on a weekend, you don't want to shave, and your hair's kind of a mess, and you're wearing torn jeans or something, or shorts, and you kind of always be mindful that people will recognize me. That it's actually shocking, because when we started, I was a little store that did $200,000 a year. Our first year we did $200,000. I made $9,000. It was hand to mouth, and I'm shocked to see the progress over the years, and I'm grateful for it. So sometimes you got to be, when you're out in public, you got to, people expect a certain thing, and I'm happy to meet people, happy to shake hands, and autographs and pictures, but sometimes you just want to be left alone, But if we had hired an actor, it would have been problematic over the years. I could control my own behavior, but not an actor's behavior, so I became the actor by default.
Well, there's also a certain authenticity, right? I mean, and I think you say you stunk at the beginning.
I stunk.
Yeah, but apparently it worked.
Yeah.
So there must have been, people saw something authentic. I mean, think about, Jim McInvale and Gallery Furniture?
Of course.
Remember his early commercials,
Yeah.
Mattress Mac?
Of course I do.
He actually used that kind of horniness, that kind of homegrown
marketer,
flavor.
great retailer, a great man, hard worker still. He's a great salesman, a brilliant businessman. I admire him a lot. Yes. He and Jake are have been around for a long time, doing a lot for our industry, giving a lot to charity. Really, we were born poor, and no matter how successful you are, you die poor. That's what you do, and whether you make a mark in the world, and both those gentlemen have. Art Van, they did the same thing. Harry Acker at Sleepy's. Unfortunately, that's business has been trashed. But Dale Carlson. There's people that are significant individuals that have helped their communities. I admire a lot. It's incumbent upon us that are successful to help. So, Nelson's spearheading a big push this year for Wounded Warriors. We're going to be donating quite a bit to them. We donate to a lot of local charities, and it's a pleasure to do that. Because we're not just here to make a few bucks and run away. We're good members of the community, and that's the mark of a good businessman. That's not just because you make a couple.
Right, not just how
here.
much you make, but how much you give back.
No, it's being good. It's being good to the people that help you become successful. That's one of the reasons why we didn't sell. We had the opportunity, more than a couple times.
Oh, but I would be surprised if Matt Firm hadn't knocked on your door at some point.
They did, but I knew it would happen, and Nelson knew it would happen. So you get a pile of money, and excuse my language, your people get effed. Effed. Thank you for helping me build the business. Bye-bye. That's not what I'm all about. We make enough.
How does the cost compare digitally to more traditional venues? Is it about the same nowadays?
We look at our entire budget. Of course, we look at digital, but digital is a vast influencer, and because of our other media, into traffic and to e-commerce, of course, both. But what we see is a correlation between people on digital coming into our website, doing certain things, and then coming in to buy. There's a very high chance that if they do certain things within our media mix, that we'll have an opportunity to serve them in our stores. Once they come in our stores, we have a very high close rate, not because of pressure, but because of the experience that we give the consumer. Now, most of it's interpersonal too. I mean, it's the scientific thing, it's a merchandise thing, but it's the interpersonal relationship that we build with the guest. It's critical. That's a big difference maker. You can't get that on digital. You're never going to get your body measured properly on digital. You're never going to be able to feel and smell and touch the mattress on digital. Look, if you just want a rectangle and want to order it, that's okay. But if you got a back problem, if you got circulatory issues, if your husband's snoring and this is going on, it's very difficult to solve that through the digital play. So I think the key to us is to be great at both, and the brick and mortars that do that will succeed and prosper for years to come.
One of the things that we've seen on the furniture side of the business is that store traffic is down, but the consumers who come into the store are much farther along in the purchase path. So they're not coming in and saying, hi, I'm looking for a sofa, or I'm looking for a bedroom set. They're saying, do you have this particular brand and this particular model? So some stores are starting to, like, traditional conversion rates have to change because the consumer is much more ready to be. Are you seeing that on the bedding side? Are consumers much further along the path when they come into the store?
They're better educated today than ever before. But a lot of times it's the stuff that they see is kind of Greek to them, and they have to feel it, taste it, smell it, and that's where our strength is. You know, it used to be when we started in business, most consumers were clueless. They knew they needed a day bed or a futon or a mattress or a sofa bed, and we'd take them through the process. Today, they're not clueless. They're very bright, they're articulate, you know, they're capable, and you've got to speak their language, you know.
Have you looked at, even though you retain your footprint in Southern California, have you looked at trying to build the brand outside of the market and start to?
Well, that's digital. Digital will do that. And I think that's the right track for now. Building outside the market is possible, but that's going to be Drew's a generation. Look, I'm going to be 70, and I'm not going to be running around Vegas or wherever opening stores, but the next generation will do that. That's what I'm thrilled about, is that my dad and I started it. Now my nephews, my brother-in-law, my son, you know, are involved, deeply involved in this business. And the best thing to do is hand a healthy, living, great business on to the next generation. That's my biggest wish. So, and that's why another reason we didn't sell.
Thank you so much for taking
Pleasure.
so much time.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.